Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jaden and I'm a Bible-believing street preacher based in New York City. This is not going to be a video on any doctrinal topic. This is just going to be a channel update. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everybody who subscribed and the people that consistently watch my videos. I'm praying that you're getting a blessing on this channel. The goal of the channel is to give detailed analysis and detailed studies on topics you may already know, and it's also going to be on topics that you're supposed to know. So the I'm just going to do a channel update. First of all, I just want to say that there are over 50% or around 50% of the people watching me are not subscribed. So I just pray that if you are getting a blessing and you are keeping up and you're not subscribed, please ask that you do just to boost the algorithm. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for the Lord. Usually I'm out there street preaching and handing out tracts, but I spent a large amount of time making these studies and making these videos. So I'm not really interested in having like a bajillion viewers, but I am interested in getting the videos out to the people that would like to see them. I don't know who those people are, but God will figure it out. The next thing I want to do is just give an update on what my plans are for the channel and then new series I'm going to be coming out with. So let me just put a little list here for you. So the first thing is I have a playlist called Studying the Scriptures. That playlist is going to be a list of studies on topics you are supposed to know about no matter what. So now that playlist right now is a little imbalanced because I have some easy topics and then I have a lot of hard topics. So the way this playlist is set up right now, it's supposed to be progressively getting harder and harder on the topics. But everything in that playlist is going to be stuff you have to know, like as a Christian, no matter, like it doesn't matter what level you're at, you're supposed to know those things. I'm going to work on more milk topics so I can saturate the early part of the playlist with hermeneutics and easier stuff. And then as you go down, you start getting into harder and harder topics. But just because the way that I am and the nature of the way I teach, I give intricate details. It's going to feel like the easier topics are still very difficult. But that's why you should be going to a local church so that you can also have your pastor teach you. Don't just sit and watch my videos. You need to go to a local church, all right, if you can. I know right now in the last days, there are not really a lot of good churches anymore. So I'm not really going to dunk on you. If you're right with the Lord, then you're right with the Lord. Not my place to judge. So this playlist here, Studying the Scriptures, this is going to be my essential playlist, and I'm going to be expanding. And I'm going to try to put everything in order as best as possible from easiest topics going down. Like I said, it may seem like they're in balance, but I'm going to be making more studies on easier topics so that when you go down, you can just study it. Now, let me just be clear. I am not discipling you. This is for your knowledge, okay? The reason I do studies the way I do them deep is for your personal knowledge. This is not for you to be one of my disciples. It's nothing like that. You need to go to a local church, all right? Now, in the future, and for the next couple weeks, I have videos I've already edited and made on studies, and I spend a lot of time on these videos. And these are going to be on something called the Spirit World series. The Spirit World series. These are not going to be a part of this one. The Spirit World series is going to be some of my hardest studies that I've done. Now, there are some topics in studying the scriptures that are difficult studies that I've done, but that's because of the nature of the topics. They have to do with either prophecy or something that you may just not even know about. But this series, the Spirit World series, is going to be meats. This is going to be very, very heavy topics. While you can watch them, I do not recommend you watch these topics and study them unless you're already familiar with the King James Bible, familiar with prophecy, and familiar with hermeneutics. And the reason I say that is because the nature of these topics are very difficult. They're very deep. And the topics sound so outlandish that you're going to think that I'm like a kook and I'm like making up crazy stuff. But it's not like that. So if you are not mature enough to handle this stuff, don't watch those videos. You still can, but it's just the nature of the topic. These are meats. So you're going to see a couple of these videos are going to get released concerning this. This is going to be on stuff like principalities. It's going to be stuff like the Genesis gap, stuff like Nephilim, stuff like the shape of the universe. It's going to be filled with stuff like that. It's going to be like the fall of Lucifer. All of that stuff is going to be in that series. It's going to be very heavy, And I don't recommend you watch them if you know you can't handle them. All right. Now, another series that I'm going to have planned is going to be a video game series. You say, what? A video game series? Yes, I don't play video games anymore, but I've played thousands of them of every genre. And I don't say that with pride, but I'm saying that because 90% of the games I ever played stole from the Bible and they weren't even trying to hide it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have my long Bible studies, my deep Bible studies, my difficult Bible studies, and I have my easier ones. That's going to be for Christians in terms of the Bible. But then I'm actually going to be going through the video games I used to play, and I'm going to be showing you where the devil normalizes a lot of stuff that's actually evil that so you can show it to young people. A lot of young people play these games and they have no idea that this imagery is there. But there are games I used to play where, man, when I got saved and I started studying the Bible, I was like, what in the world? How did I not see that what that was, right? So these videos are going to be short form. They're not going to be long. They're going to be like 6 or 7 minutes long. And I'm going to be showing you where the devil has implanted all of this stuff in media and video games so that you can see where people are getting messed up. All right. So that's going to be that. And I'm actually going to show it from the King James Bible. I have not seen a single person online do this. I'm going to be doing it. All right. All right. Now I have other stuff. There's going to be another playlist that I'm doing. So if you look in my channel, I have something called Studies on the 7 Mysteries of God. So the 7 Mysteries of God, I've already done a flagship video. So for example, I did one video on the incarnation. Under that tab, you have another video that says, for example, the incarnation. And then everything under that video is going to be topics related to the incarnation, right? I have one on the mystery of the blindness of Israel. And then in that playlist under the blindness of Israel, I'm going to have other videos under that heading, right? So that way you can get more knowledge on that subtopic. So that's that. Then I'm going to have the most controversial series I'm going to do. This one is going to be on a playlist. I've already made the playlist. The playlist is on my studies on the Great Tribulation. Now, I believe God has shown me a lot of stuff on prophecy. And I just want to preface this by saying, I thank God for the Bible teachers I learned from. But I also believe they were wrong on a lot of things. Not because I think I'm smarter than them, but because God is not done showing the church stuff just because he stopped using those then. It's extremely insulting that people think that God is not going to show me anything because I'm not as smart as other Bible teachers who have been alive. That's particularly insulting because when did God ever show anybody something just because they were intelligent? That's hypocritical. So in my studies on the Great Tribulation, I've already made a couple videos on tribulation salvation, what is the Great Tribulation, etc., etc. What I haven't made videos on is Daniel's 70th week. Daniel's 70th week. I haven't made a video specifically on Mystery Babylon. I haven't made a video on the heads of the dragon. Okay. So these topics are going to be under that playlist of the Great Tribulation. That playlist I have there. That playlist doesn't have a lot of videos yet. I think it only have like 3, I think. But I'm going to be making videos on this topic. I haven't made videos on the Antichrist and all that stuff. And the reason I haven't done it yet is because I have this Spirit World series coming, and I already know that people won't be able to handle this. People are not going to be ready to handle this because this is even harder than this. So I'm still going to do this, but I'm going to put this off for a little while because right now my schedule changed. So I'm a little busy, but I have a lot of videos already scheduled ahead of time to release so that you have stuff to watch for the next like month and a half. And the last thing I want to do is give you an update on this other one. I actually forgot to mention this. So in this playlist on studying the scriptures, I'm going to have a list of other topics that are going to be practical. So on top of just having doctrines on like eternal security and dispensationalism and basic prophecy and hermeneutics, I'm also going to, you probably started seeing it, include more practical stuff. So I have on that playlist, I have a video on prayer. I have a video on stuff like the judgment seat of Christ. Well, I'm also going to be adding stuff to this playlist on stuff like marriage, drinking, what the Bible says about drinking, and all that other kind of stuff, like practical stuff on judgment. How should a Christian judge, etc., etc. So I want to try to expand that playlist so that you go from the easy topics at the top going down to the bottom, and you go from practical and then slowly start getting theological, deeper theologically and theologically. And when you are watching the videos, you should be checking every verse. Do not just sit and listen and watch me talk. That's the problem with people. They have their favorite Bible teacher that has already taught them what they want the Bible to say, and they refuse to study. Then I show them a verse or two and they get offended and say, that's not what the verse says. You got it wrong, brother. The purpose of this channel is for you to study. It's deep, intricate studies that other Bible teachers don't do. I'm not insulting them. There's awesome Bible teachers that I still study from, even though I don't agree with what they teach, some of them. But I'm trying to give you the nitty-gritty, specific details on why things work the way they are. Because me as a person, I don't like having a surface level reason for why something is the way it is. I need to know all the nitty-gritty. Now I have a limit. I know that I can't understand everything in the Bible, so I put a mental wall in my head and I say, all right, I'm not going to try to get too far into that doctrine. The purpose of the channel is that if another Bible teacher doesn't go as deep into something, the purpose of this is so that you can get the deep answer. Because people have different things, right? Gene Kim is an awesome Bible teacher. I learned a lot from him, but he's a scholar. So he's going to talk about things historically and scholarly. I don't like that because I really don't care about the scholarly world. That's not an insult to him. He's an awesome Bible teacher, right? Now there's some stuff that he teaches I don't agree with, but I would recommend him in a heartbeat to anybody. So, but there's stuff that he teaches that he doesn't get as nitty gritty because he has a church. He's a pastor. He has a different audience. Now, the purpose of this channel is for you to get the deep nitty gritty version of it. That's all it is. So right now, this is going to be the update on the channel, short video. So I'm going to be working on expanding this Studying the Scriptures playlist. I want to get more practical life stuff in that playlist on top of the theological ones. This Spirit World series is going to be coming out. It's going to have some crazy deep videos, deep doctrines. And then I'm going to be working on these tiny short video game series videos I'm going to be doing just to show you what these young people see, because you old people don't see what the young people see. And then eventually, maybe at the end of December, I'm going to start working on these videos on Mystery Babylon and the heads of the dragon and all that kind of stuff. And I already know people are going to get offended by this because they are politically stuck with their favorite teachers. I don't care what they taught. I don't care what they taught. So that's going to be it for the video. For you look forward to the future videos. This is just a quick update. So I will see you later. Grace be to you all.